It's hammer time on the United Football Media Network. I'm Webb. I'm joined by my hard hat wearing, Keystone State living, wheeling and dealing co-host Alex, and we are joined by the legend, punt god, Matt Mengel. How's it going, Matt?
Going great, man. Very blessed. Wake up every morning. Very happy, man. Can't complain, dude. Life is good.
So obviously we're a Maulers show. We're going to talk a lot about the Maulers.
Love it.
What was the secret sauce, man? Like, you were there from the beginning. You were one of the first moves last fall. It started off real slow, right?
Definitely,
You guys were struggling a little bit, and then all of a sudden it kicked into higher gear. Like, what was the secret sauce? What took you guys to that next level?
Honestly, the first few weeks, the team was just kind of the vets of the team or year two guys of the team were very upset. It seemed like every once a week we'd have team ran meetings where players would come up and just really express how much they wanted to win and turn around things, and really the team really started clicking halfway through, I would say. It took our offense a long time to kind of find rhythm, and even then when they found rhythm, I think they still kind of struggled a little bit. I'm no offensive guru, so I couldn't really tell you what didn't or didn't work. I just knew that as soon as Garrett got the ball in the backfield, he would run through about 10 people and he would just get yards. Every time he touched the ball, he always gained yards. I don't think he ever got tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Our run game with Garrett really worked well. Our defense from the start, from our DBs to our D-line, they just were in sync. The trust level was there. Everybody was there. The love for everybody and everybody's craft was there. Special teams, man, Coach Hall, we don't really spend a lot of time on technique. And I think that's mostly because we have the year two guys coming back. But when we were doing things, I think really besides the field goal return and the punt return, our special teams did great all season. I don't think there was ever a day that they didn't show up besides two plays all season. I don't know what the turnaround was, man. I could say our Bible study got a lot bigger. A lot of players started coming to Bible study. We even had Coach Horton run a Bible study, and we had half our team there for that. Teammates really just stuck with each other and hung around each other, and I guess it was the love and support of everybody and how good they really were, and how highly each other like everybody valued each other and their abilities. I just really kind of sank halfway through the season. It really started. Everybody I would always, no matter what our record was, everybody had a smile on their face. Everybody was playing chess in the locker room, or shooting dice, or just hanging out with everybody and playing, man. And cornhole, I don't know. This team really felt like family throughout the whole season, even when we were down or up. And I couldn't tell you what the turning point was. Everybody was happy to come to work, and they were just very grateful and blessed that they even got the opportunity to even play football again. So
that's awesome. You, as a special teams captain, kind of went through two long snappers, right? Luke Barnes was there at the beginning, then Riley came in, and then you went through two kickers as the holder. What was that like, man? Like, especially at the beginning of the season, it's short training camp, then all of a sudden now we're switching everything.
I really feel bad for Luke. He had a family emergency that had to kind of take him away from football for good. And we really didn't know what he was going through until that week where we had to bring someone else in. And then I really sat down and talked to him for about an hour and a half, and he just opened up to me about everything that was going on. I really hope he's doing well. Really, really strong man of faith, really good dude. I really hope he's doing good. I haven't spoke to him since. He really hasn't spoke to anybody. With Nate, we went into the season. I mean, I've been training with Nate for the last 5 years, 4 years. You're one of my best friends. We talk every day. Going through the snapper change just kind of affected him a little bit. And then he kind of fell out of rhythm in camp. And then come game one, it felt like everything was corrected, but it was just the growing pains of being a rookie. And, you're going to make a lot of mistakes as a rookie. I mean, I did when I was in Montreal, my first season, even coming out being the best kicker and punter there, just going into practice every day on practice roster was just, I mean, so crucial for my growth. And kind of him not being able to go through that, and then all of a sudden being on national television and just in the limelight, just not having known what he needed to work on prior to going, it was very difficult for him. And I tried to help as much as possible. And he was so strong and he did so well just being there for his first season as a rookie. It's just the way his situation played out with our team. We needed someone that could give us that 3 extra points right now and right then. And I think our coaching staff just couldn't question that anymore. Or even with our offense wasn't doing totally great. So we needed a kicker that was established that could kick a football really deep, like 60 yards plus. And that's when Chris came in. First day, we're on the field. I don't know if this is known or not. I have a video I could send you to. This is probably the most insane thing I've ever seen. I'm sitting there talking with Chris. Riley's snapping at me. Chris is watching us. Must have did like 8 snaps. Chris is kicking off sticks. Coach Horton is standing there behind us, maybe about 30 yards behind us, just watching Chris. Chris is starting from 30, then 40, then 50, then 60, bouncing back each hash. And then he hits from 62 off sticks in practice. Me and Riley are figuring out laces. I think we were arguing about some stupid. And everyone, like the coaching staff's just sitting there laughing at me and Riley arguing about something lame. Everyone's laughing. The coaching staff's just laughing at us, but they're watching Chris just drain field goals, just hit the back of the net consistently every single dang time. And Chris didn't miss at all off sticks. And then we just finished team stretch, and we usually break up and then go into a certain period. Before we went into that period, or even did our team break, he calls Chris over, me and Riley, and Coach Horton says, "I just saw you hit from 62. I want to see you do it live." And Chris had not caught a live snap from me or kicked off my holds. He walked up. Whole team is around us. There must be like 60 people around us, and he just drains a 62 off a snap. First snap he ever kicked with our operation, 62. I'll send you the video. Craziest thing I ever seen. Hits the back of the net, just drains. Everyone gets turned up. Practice went great that day. I cranked punts. That was crazy situation to be put in. You can't get into pressure like that. New team, new coaching staff. You got to prove yourself. You just get brought into this. It's week 3. You got to produce that week, or probably someone else is coming in. And you just come in, go 100% on that day, and then that week go 5 for 5 and be special teams player of the week is nuts.
So you didn't work with Chris at all before he showed up in camp?
I knew of Chris from like combines and like similar coaches, Carney and Novak and all them, but I never had like shaken his hand or like talked to him at all much. And this was really our first experience with each other. And man, him and Riley really gel good. Mr. Young and Coach Hull really put together a strong unit, just mentally and confidence-wise. We really feel like we're the best unit in terms of trust in the entire USFL. And we, at the end of the season, we really felt like an NFL team would probably pick us 3 up and put us into a situation where all 3 of us could go into a camp and compete. But it just hasn't happened yet. I don't think any specialists have been picked up for besides Colby, but that was kind of a 1 week thing.
And Aubrey, Brandon Aubrey.
Oh yeah, Aubrey. He's gonna kill it there, and especially indoors with the Cowboys' best stadium. That's a great situation for him, especially with Fossil, special teams coordinator there. That'll be a good opportunity. But all around, it was highs and lows. But as a specialist, you gotta just stay balanced. Like everything's moving around you, but really the only thing I'm being paid to do is sit there, lead a group of men, and just catch the ball, get it off as fast as I can and as high and as far as I can down the field to give my defense the best opportunity to succeed. And if I can give my defense 80, 85, 90 yards of field to work with, there's no way they shouldn't be the number one defense in the USFL, you know?
So talking about kicking the ball, talk about that 83-yard bomb, man. That was like that should get you a shot in the camp by itself.
I feel like it should. That week, really, it was a tough week. The wind in that stadium, Tom Benson, like it comes in every corner and swirls a lot. So that whole week, I was just really learning how to play the wind right, because the wind 10 feet above my head is way different than when I punt the ball over the uprights height. And the wind way up top is way stronger than it is down below. So I need to read the wind pockets, know how to drop the ball, know how to play it right. Warm up, I struggled a bit, not turning over balls. And then I would say that was probably the hardest game I ever played in terms of wind factor, besides Hamilton on the Edmonton Elks. But the first punt I hit that I did not flip the field all season was a 30-yard punt. And that was the punt directly before that. I came out to the field. Coach Mo asked me what happened. And I said, I didn't play the wind right, and it got caught. The ball turned over, hit a wall, and then dropped back down. It really made me upset, and I went off to the sideline, and me and Chris talked a little bit, and Riley snapped me some balls, and it seemed like my defense came out. They stopped them, made them punt, and I was back on the field within 5 minutes. It felt like, literally. I go out. I think my heels are on like the 5-yard line. Riley gets a false start. His butt moved too quick, I guess they said, before he snapped it. So they called a false start on him and gave us a 5-yard penalty. But the punt I hit off that was like 67 in air. And I had a ton of hang on it. It must have been over 5 seconds of hang. And it was across field to the left. So I knew if I hit the same exact ball with a little bit less trajectory, I could play the wind pocket right, and it would kind of bounce off the pockets and keep carrying. And that's exactly what happened. I caught the ball, super calm, I'm going to hit the same exact ball, just a little bit lower. And I did. And, man, if you could track the ball from my point of view, it literally bounced off each pocket the way I wanted it to, and it just kept going. It was awesome. Felt amazing.
That's awesome. Thank you for explaining the win, because at the championship you explained it to me and I was like, I don't know what he's talking about right now, but now with the details, you've helped me.
Memphis had a one-way win. Yep. Alabama had a one-way win. Tom Benson is the only stadium in our league right now where the wind is swirly, and it comes from literally every single corner, and it all kind of hits each other. So it kind of feels like you're punting into the wind at all times. So it was just I think me being there, having the leg I have, and just as much development as I had in Canada with all the wind and cold up there that I've experienced, it was very helpful for me this season to go into the season with all that experience. It was tough stadium to predict.
Man, I remember that punt before, and you just looked angry. Like on camera, watching from home, you just looked angry. And then this 83-yard bomb, it looked like your initial reaction was you were still angry about it, whatever was going on. And then, I was like, what is he angry about? Like, I was trying to figure out, like, is he upset that something happened? Or
if you take a specialist and focus on the specialist individually, our mindsets are like perfectionism, because we're like one for one. If you think about it, we're like snipers in the military almost. Like, you miss your shot, it's over kind of thing. Field goal kickers really take on that mindset. But punting, I make it a point. My number one point is to set up my defense as good as I possibly can. I wear that on my chest. Like I take more pride in being part of the number one defense than I do my 83. That's because if you look at the number one defense, if you look at how much field I was able to give them, I allow them to play freely and to play in different schemes that normally they probably couldn't play the year prior or last year, not this year, you know. So I just let the coaches kind of let them go out and just play free, go do your job, and everybody. I don't know. Everybody's kind of feeding off of each other with the defense and special teams, but I take a lot of pride in flipping the field. And when I don't flip the field, I really personally feel like I failed my job going into a game. If you look at my statistics, they are not the highest statistics in the league. But then if you look at our defensive statistics, they are the highest in the league in almost a lot of categories. And if you watch every game, I put my defense in a ton of good positions, and I take a lot more pride in that than being all USFL or anything like that. So I was pissed on that 30. I was pissed because that was the only punt all season where I didn't flip the field.
Coach Holt gave you that credit. I interviewed him last November, like right after you got signed. Maybe it was December. I don't remember the exact date. But he said you were already asking all these questions, and he said he's real. You can watch the interview. He's like he wants details. He wants to know what he could do to help out the team. So you just Coach Holt was right the whole time. I didn't know if he was just like coach speak. You know what I mean? But yeah, right. If that's the most important thing for you.
Specialists in general are perfectionists. My perfectionism kind of translates into helping out my team more than like my own craft. And you know, I feel like I do that very well. And I've been asked multiple times this season to sacrifice my stats in order to put our team in a better position. And that's exactly what I did. Sometimes, I mean, there were games where I was, what was it? Michigan at their house. End of the game, I was literally asked to hit a touchback from like 25 yards away or 30 yards away, and I did. And it equated to like a 14-yard punt or 15-yard punt. But Coach Horton walked right up to me and was like, "Look, are you okay if I ask you to hurt your stats or sacrifice your stats?" And I said, "Hell yeah, what do you need?" And that's exactly what I did. He said, "I need you to put this to the end zone." And that's exactly what I did. I mean, I was asked to hit touchbacks this year. I was asked not to punt out of bounds. I was asked to do specific things for schematics in order to help our team win, and that's exactly what it did. And yeah, I'm exactly what he described. I'm a perfectionist when it comes to that.
The definition of a captain, obviously, right?
Trying.
So you've got the unique situation where you played in the USFL 2 seasons and two different teams, 2 different locations. I think you actually might be one of the only players that have done that, where they've played on because Sage Surratt played with the Stallions and the Breakers, but they stayed in Birmingham. What was the biggest difference between season 2 and season 1 outside of Birmingham and Canton, but just your career, how the league was run, all that kind of stuff?
I really felt like the league. Well, you know what? You got to give it credit to our general manager, or the league general managers and the league coaches, because they really keep all the dysfunction out of the teams and they really make the teams operate great. But I know that there is a lot of issues in terms of dysfunctionality between the league and some of the coaching staffs, but they kept that all away from us. And in turn, I think leaving this year, all the teams are probably going to run 100% more efficiently next year after going through some of the growing pains of being a new league. So really, in terms of a league, I really felt like it was operated this year way more efficiently than it was last year. And even with branching out into 4 separate locations, I think they did a dang good job of taking care of the players, just facilitating in our home stadiums, and even how they facilitated us on away games, the plane flights, the food, everything ran amazing. Teams aren't really privately owned like the CFL yet or the NFL. So, I mean, the league is probably limited in what they could do and provide, but I thought everything that they provided was great. When it came to treatment staffs, to again, like flying out and feeding us and doing whatever, everything was, I felt, top notch. Even food in a way, or at home, it's great. Breakfast all through camp, breakfast or lunch, get before games. Everybody was very accessible in the league, from HR to social media. It was just, I thought it ran more efficiently than the CFL did, to be honest. Difference between teams, I would say the difference between, I've said this before, I said this in the press conference before the championship, and I'll say this again. The difference between this staff and that staff, I felt like the coaches really expressed their appreciation towards the players and what they really thought of them. I've had multiple coaches come up and really express their appreciation for me and what I was able to do for this team. And that made me play 100% better, 1,000% better. I was able to go into every game free of thought, free of judgment, wondering if, like, oh man, am I going to get released if I do good? Am I going to get released if I do bad? And really, that was the difference maker for me in my efficiency, in my leadership, in my application of just being there every day and giving it my all, was my coaching staff caring enough to just say, hey man, you're doing a great job. The Stars don't do that. They don't treat their players like that. Everything's kind of behind the door. Everything's kind of, how do you say, everything's very political over there, and everything's very cryptic over there. That was that was the difference between function of staffs. I feel like my staff gets way more out of their players than that staff does, because the players on our team trust our coaching staff a lot more. They take more of an NFL approach on the other coaching staff for the Stars. And it's like they're looking in your face and telling you they think you're doing good, and then they cut you the next day. I mean, that's exactly what they did with me. That's what they do with a lot of players in the Stars. And I don't think I'm not here to talk bad, but I don't think that's how you should run or operate a team, especially when you got a bunch of men that are giving every ounce of their body, mind, and soul to this sport to live out their dream. I don't think that's, from my perspective. I mean, with the Stars, I was a very average kicker, but I was a great punter. I went in and really helped them win that last game. We got a player of the game on Fox. And my coach came up to me and he's like, I'm so sorry I put you in such a bad position, but you did such a great job. And then 2 days later, I was gone. Elks did that to me too. But I just felt like the staff, they've been in NFL facilities. They've coached in NFL Super Bowls. They've played in the NFL. They know exactly what they need to get out of everybody, what they need to do mentally and emotionally to get what they need out of the player. And that's exactly what they did with me. And I would say that I just never been happier playing on a football team other than the Maulers. I feel like I'm in high school playing football. Just, I get to go out and live my dream. And I know at any other level of football or any other coaching staff, I probably would never feel this way. I felt like I had a great relationship with every single coach, from offensive line coach to the D-line coach to the head coach to even the general manager would walk up to me and say, Matt, you're just doing a super job. Like, please just keep doing what you're doing. We love you here. We're so thankful to have you. Like, you don't get that in any other football team professionally, ever. You'll never get that anywhere, ever. So that, I would say that's a huge difference between coaching staffs. It feels like a home, It feels like I could play here for the next 10 years, whether that happens or not, I don't know, but I'm just happy. Just a very comfortable environment.
What's crazy is, so we've talked to Isaiah Greenbay, who, came late in the season. Boogie's been there for two seasons, and now you're kind of in between and been there for one season, and they all say the same thing. So obviously it's got to be the truth. The coach staff and everything, and the team just come together. It feels like home, like you said. Boogie says family. Isaiah said he just hit the ground running. You know, he knew a few guys from Wisconsin, but he hit the ground running because of the way the locker room is. So that's just great to hear, especially as Mauler guys. So
it's just the experience from the coaching staff, I think, because they've been in those political environments in the NFL as coaches and as players. They've won Super Bowls. They've coached at the college level and all the politics in that. It's just, I think they want to coach in an environment that has no politics either. I think they want to come and play, have fun, coach a team, and try to win a championship and live out their dream as well. And I really think they approached every day like that, and they treated us like men, and they treated us like family at the same time. And it just,
that's awesome.
I love it.
We have a bunch of sound bites for a free agent recruiting video now.
Yeah. You got free agents in a month. You're coming if the NFL doesn't call. You're coming back in 2024.
I'd love to.
That's
yes,
awesome.
sir.
That's great.
I'd love to be there.
That's great to hear. I hope Coach Hull. I know Coach Hull watches these, so Coach Hull.
I would love to be here, catching snaps from Riley, holding for Chris, and kicking 90-yard punts next season.
That's awesome. Alex, you got anything for him for the Maulers?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, great to have you on the show. And, Webb can tell you I'm probably one of the biggest Chris Blewett homers probably out in United Football media. I put him in my USFL players top 10. I thought he was a real difference maker. When I had a chance to go out to Canton, I was in section 102, about 3 rows from where you guys were. So a little off topic, but I'd like to know, when you and Blewett are hanging out down there on that end of the sideline during the game, obviously you're locked in on the game, what you have to do. When you were going through your explanation of like playing the win and whatnot, that's a really advanced concept for a lot of folks. Number 2, I think you were spot on in terms of managing the game. You know, I talk a lot about complementary football, offense, defense, special teams, how it all fits. You can run up some beautiful stats, but to your point, if you're not putting your defense in a chance in the best situation possible to be effective, really it's selfish. You're not doing the team any good. As a general rule, what do you guys talk about? Like when you're down there hanging out, you know, let's say we have the ball or we're on defense and you know, you guys are just chilling out. What are you talking about usually? I've never been part of those kicker and punter talks.
Usually we either discuss like time and ball in the game, and we try to predict like future. Okay, like let's just say it's like 2 minutes left, we're down by a point, we're predicting, all right, it's gonna be a game winner here, or this is gonna be a tying cake here. This is gonna be, we need this, we need that, we need this. All right, so then I'll go through various drops and different types of punts I'll need to do. We'll bounce ideas back and forth with each other. Okay, if we're going down that, let's just say if we're going north upright, what type of hold are we going to need? What type of snap location are we going to need? How are we going to play the wind? Exactly, just like as you said. Different kicks require different holds. If we're going into wind, the hold needs to be about an inch different than the last hold. If we're going with the wind, holds need to be tilted certain ways, done certain ways. We discuss every single possibility: left hash, right hash, middle of the field. Where's the wind coming from? Where's it not going from? Okay, if we get a pick here, what kind of punt am I going to need to hit right off the bat? From banana to Aussie to turnover, crossfield. We really kind of go through a checklist, man. Just really prepping to. You never want to go into a situation where you're not mentally have already been in it or visualized in it. And if not, and we're just chilling on the sidelines, we just sit and talk about the last rep. Okay, how could I have been better? What could I have done? Riley, could you have hit me in a better spot on the snap? Could I have given you a different hold and a different angle a little bit better? Could I have done this? Could I have done that? We'll sit there on the benefit of the USFL is I can literally watch a play later on the iPads. My play pops up. So then I could we could zoom in on the iPad. I could literally check my hold. I could look at the operation. We could clock the times. We could see where our leaks were coming off of, if there's penetration from a punt or a field goal. We can look, because Coach Hull, besides being the special teams coach and having to track who's in and who's out for special teams, he's also a linebacker coach. So he has to go and he has to coach defense and be with the defensive coordinator and DB's coach at all times. And he's got to be on the comms at all times, talking with Coach Horton and being there and assessing which situations are possible. So maybe sometimes he doesn't see things. So we always check every rep just in case. Like, let's say X went down and we need a backup. I would reiterate that to Coach Hull just in case he didn't know, or just really anything we see. Coach Hull asks us, like, yo, how did that feel? What do you feel right here? Do you feel like going right? Do you feel like going left? We talk about everything, everything. Football's chess. When you break it down, in our league, it's 40 people against 40 people, and it's chess. And you got to play chess against the other team. So if I see something that no one else saw, or someone gets beat that no one else saw, or the opposing team, last year I punted a lot left, but on that 83, on the 83, the 30-yard punt, they had dropped someone back. I noticed it. I checked out of going right, and I punted left, which when we got the penalty, if I did not punt left and check left, the pressure came off the right side, and it would have been blocked. So there's just things I see out of my eyes that Coach may not see, or other players may not see or understand. And he trusts me to come to him and say, hey, I feel more comfortable going this direction than that direction. Or he'll ask me how I feel, or he'll ask his linebackers how they feel, or they'll ask the DBs, what do they think they should be doing? Like, that just goes back to the cohesiveness between players and coaches. It's a family, and there's a huge trust between us and them. But we go on the sideline, we keep it lighthearted. We joke about things, talk about things, or we look at their team and what they do, and we go down checklists. If we can help the team out, we will, or if we need to help each other out, we will, or if he hit a miss hit or missed a field goal, I'll sit down and I'll help him. We'll talk about it. We'll break it down. Well, could I have been better? Could Riley have been better? Just a list of things. There's so much that goes through a football game. A football game. Every unit's different.
No question.
All right, Matt, you ready to drop the hammer?
Sure.
Non-football questions. You ready?
Yeah, hit me.
All right. All right, we got Alex has a few. He's a historian. Kind of trivia questions about Pittsburgh. We're trying to get you guys ready for moving to Pittsburgh. Try to get accustomed to the city of Pittsburgh. I know you haven't been there yet.
I have. I actually had Easter lunch with Coach, his wife, and some of the linebackers and all the specialists. We went to his house in Pittsburgh. Pretty nice over there. Yeah.
Nice. We got a couple Pittsburgh questions, and then we got some non-football questions. Go ahead, Alex.
All right, you ready? So I'll preface this by saying there's a guy that I work with. He's a Cal Berkeley PhD. So, Matt, that gives you the idea, the level of listener that we have listening in right now. So, we got to show this guy because he'll be listening. Just how smart you UCLA guys are. So we'll knock it out of the park here.
You can let him know that I turned down a full ride to Berkeley to go to UCLA.
Well, he'll be listening. You could tell him yourself. So that's good. I'll start with this one. What does the word yinz mean? Y-I-N-Z. Yinz. Isn't
a yinzer just like old school, like Steeler fan and just Pittsburgh native?
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. The actual word comes from yins, and yins would be Pittsburgh for you all or you guys. So
y'all.
Yeah, if we were all going to go out to eat in the center, y'all want to go get something to eat, it'd be our yins going out to get something to eat. So
all right, I'll use that more now.
You got it.
I'll start using that everywhere. Everyone's like, what?
You get partial credit. That's 1 credit hour toward a degree at USC. How about that? So it's keeping with that theme. 1943, the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Philadelphia Eagles combined their team due to the shortage of players during World War II. What was that team's nickname? The Steelers and the Eagles combined their team in 1943 to become what team?
Wow. I didn't even know that ever happened.
This is what this show is all about, Matt. We're educating the masses. We're bringing a new sense of enlightenment to people.
The Warhawks? I don't know. Maybe.
Not bad. I can see the World War II theme with the Warhawk fighter plane? I saw where you were going. Good train of thought there, but they became the Steagles. How would you like to be the marketing manager for the Steagles? Marketing director.
That would be kind of dope. Actually,
There
that'd be sick. I like the Mauler name though. That's original, and I got my hat. I got my helmet on my Mauler stuff. I love wearing this stuff everywhere. People ask me all the time what a Mauler is. And just such an original. And I love the change to the yellow and black. You can't beat it.
Well, on the first show I was ever on was like 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, first show. And I go back to 84 with the Maulers. And here's a little story for you around the name. So obviously the Maulers, you got the Maul, it's a steel worker and whatnot. But the original owner of the Maulers, 1983, when they were granted as the 13th franchise of the USFL, was Eddie DeBartolo Sr. Do you know how Eddie DeBartolo Sr. made all of his money?
Probably steelworking.
Close. He was a retail shopping mall magnate. So a lot of people thought
super close.
Mall. Matt, I'm giving you a bit of the doubt here. So a lot of people thought that the name Maulers came actually from his primary business being building shopping malls. So who knows? And he's since passed. I don't know if we'll ever.
What would that logo be? Just like a shopping bag or something?
I don't know. Maybe somebody was.
You probably wouldn't be wearing the hat.
A purse.
Somebody was shopping.
Purses.
All right. So I hit you hard on the questions. Here's your final question. All right. And this is for all the marbles. You can still get 100. What University of Pittsburgh legend place kicker is now an active place kicker in the USFL? And he is a legend.
Well, there's two in the USFL, but I have my loyalty with Chris Blewett. I will not pick the other one.
100%.
I'm not going to talk about the other one.
100%.
Yeah.
I think Alex is the biggest Chris Blewett fan in the entire world. Just to let you know.
Okay, I have a question. Are you the guy on Instagram that's making all these memes and stuff about Chris?
No, that's not me. I don't even have Instagram.
Dude, Chris has a meme account on that some random person is making so many memes about. They're absolutely hilarious, and he loves them too. So because Chris doesn't actually have an Instagram account, whenever I post pictures with me and Chris in it, I will tag that meme account, and that meme account just like texts me back, like, dude, this is so cool. He's just like diehard Chris fan. It's nuts.
Hey, Webb can tell you I can barely figure out Twitter, so I don't have Instagram or Facebook or anything. I have Twitter. I can text him, and I know how to log onto this show, and that's about it. But I was a huge Blewett fan. He had so many big kicks for us. And like literally, if I get a Chris Blewett autographed USFL ball to my home, I would honestly be able to say that my life is complete. And if the Lord decided to take me that day, I would be happy. Because
you want me to try to get him on this podcast right here?
I'd forever be in your debt, man.
I told you when I was up in the championship, all you specialists, man.
Yeah,
all three of you.
Oh. I don't know if my video canceled or not, but give me 1 sec. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. We can't see you.
Okay, I'm texting Chris right now. Bro, on a podcast, can you please hop on for a few and make someone's day?
If you sent him the same link I sent you, Matt, he'd be able to clock on.
I'm a UCLA Bruin fan for life now, right? I hope they win the Big Ten.
I really hope that he hops on here with a copy.
So you never know what you're going to get on Hammer Time, do you, Webb? You never know. This show is just unpredictable. That's why people need to be tuning in Wednesdays at 5 to watch.
Dinner with Matt Mengel this week.
Telling you what.
All right, I texted him. Hopefully he hops on. I sent it to him too.
To go back, what's up with the nickname Nuker? Where did that come from?
Yeah.
It used to be the Hammer. And when I started doing high school or these junior college combines, they used to call me the Hammer. And I used to have a mohawk that looked like Chuck Liddell, so they would also call me Chuck Liddell. And then when I had got through Long Beach City, it actually came after probably one of the biggest high school junior college ranking combines in the nation. I won it. I won the punting portion of it, which got me my scholarship to UCLA. But I had multiple people come up like, dude, you were nuking. Like, that was nukes, like bombs. And like, I kind of just took it as the nickname. And then first year of UCLA, everybody saw my 73-yard field goal I hit, and people just started calling me nuker. So then that was it. That was the name. It's been the name for a long time. Changed my Twitter handle just to Mengel46, but nuker's on there. But just kind of been my calling card now.
So we're making a movie about your life. Who's acting as Matt Mengel?
Oh.
We've gotten some wild answers from your teammates. I just want to let you know.
About me?
No, not about you. Not about you.
Just them?
About them themselves. So we're okay with any answer. I'll give you the funniest one. I know I mention it every time. Savion Williams said Michael B. Jordan.
Okay.
You could see that, right?
I got a better one for you. Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan. Why Jackie Chan?
Why not? You see how athletic that dude is? Bro, and have you seen Rush Hour? He's absolutely hilarious. He would be a perfect Matt Mengel. Him or Theo Vaughn.
That works. What's your go-to workout song?
Go-to workout song? Chris said he's trying to hop on right now. So
my gosh.
Go-to workout song. If you play anything really slow-paced dubstep, just heavy bass, it just gets me going. I like metal a lot. Hard rock. Chris and Riley did nothing but play country, and now I am into country. Morgan Wallen. Man, you can put on any Morgan Wallen song, it'll get me pumped. I'll just go out and just I feel like I'm back in Ohio with the boys, and then I'll just start jamming it. Really, anything metal, anything dubstep, you got me going.
We have a special guest.
Oh, goodness.
Yes. Let's go.
Matt delivered.
Yes, I delivered.
Chris, thank you for jumping on, man. It's great.
Of course, anytime. Matt texts me, I'm just going to respond right quick.
Hell yeah.
Alex is your biggest fan. So we're doing the USFL 50, and Alex put you in the top 10 for all USFL players. So he's your biggest fan.
Oh, woo, hey, hell yeah. I appreciate it.
You bet. Well earned. When you came in game 3 and started hitting some bombs, I became a huge Blewett fan. And you can tell Webb, this is only my 4th show since he invited me to be the co-host. But I get Chris Blewett plugs into every single segment I do. That's how much we appreciated this year, man.
That's right.
And I'm not stalking you on Instagram or anything. I just do Twitter, and I can barely instant message and jump on here. So that's
I already asked him if he was the meme count guy. He's not. So I thought we found him, but we didn't.
No, yeah, I got no socials. So anything you see of somebody else, it's not me. That's awesome. That's funny. I don't know. It's happened throughout college, so it's whatever. But.
Gotcha.
What was it like joining the Maulers mid-season? Have you ever had that situation where you're the guy now all of a sudden?
Kind of back in 21 when I was with Washington. It wasn't as abrupt. There was a little bit more of like a practice squad cut, picked back or dropped, picked back up, and then we were just kind of rolling with it. But nothing like a call that came in on a Monday afternoon where I just like, hey, you want to come up? All right, physicals tomorrow morning. Make it to Cleveland. I was like, all right, cool. I'll just hop in my car, throw a couple bags together, and just drove up. But yeah, no. So that was probably just the more immediate. Hey, you want to spend the next 2 to 3 months here? And then just, okay, yeah, all right. Just told my boss, walked out, and then was gone.
That's awesome. So. Alex, I know you've been waiting to ask Chris Blewett questions. Go for it.
Yeah, no.
Sorry, before we go on, I'm sorry, Matt. I know this
guy took my interview, man.
And Matt, if you have a question, just ask him too. You can ask Chris Blewett a question too.
Yeah. All right, let me think of one.
I'll hold off on the Pittsburgh trivia for Chris, but Chris, this season, the kicking game was such a weapon for the Maulers, and we felt like, first of all, with Coach Hall and the special teams, often we would start drives near the 50-yard plus territory. And it almost felt like, heck, if we can get another 7 or 8 yards, we're setting up for 3 points. I mean, was that kind of your mindset for the majority of the season? We're at midfield. they might call on me to go in and try to kick one from here?
Yeah, I mean, I was just super confident in Matt and Riley, and just all the work just throughout the week. It just felt like there was nothing we couldn't do, and we were just like from day one when we hit our 62 in practice. It just felt comfortable. It felt clean, and I just felt like with the guys was like, yeah, why not just try it from this range? I just had all the confidence in the world with these guys. And our coach said it. He's like, yeah, we get to midfield, we're going to try one. Yeah. So he said that in team meeting. He's like, hey, just screw it, let's go for 3. I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. That Michigan game in the North Championship, when you went out and hit that field goal, was it 54? It gave us the lead late. I think it was like we had like 2 minutes to go. 54 or 56.
That was our 59.
Yeah, 59.
Yeah, we cranked that, bro.
Okay. I mean, give us a little bit like with the mindset. I mean, you got to be ice cold or ice running through the veins. Because I'll tell you, I'm sitting there watching the game, and I was about to have a cardiac arrest. That game was as exciting as any football game you'd see at any level. And then here you are, and they're saying, all right, you're not going out to hit a 31-yard field goal. They're bringing you out for a 59-yard shot, and the season's kind of riding on your leg. I mean, how do you get yourself in a frame of mind to go out there and hit a kick? I mean, because you went out there and hit it like there's nothing to it.
I mean, yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, it was like all that confidence in the world. Like, I just trust the ball's going to be there and just swing up through it. It was just like on most other kicks, if I go out there with like one thought in my mind, like, okay, all I want to do is like, I want to get off my left foot, I want to get through this ball, or I want to swing up on it. I just went out there with one thought in mind, and for that one, it was to swing up through it. And Matt set down a beautiful ball, and I just like swung through it. Didn't even feel it come off my foot, and it just popped off. And I just went in with that one thing in my mind and executed that and got the result I wanted. But
incredibly big kick. When you hit that too, I remember taking a deep breath, and you know what I thought to myself? That's it. We're going to the championship. Hell, I didn't know. We still had a lot of football left to play. So that was a crazy game.
I didn't even know how overtime necessarily worked. So I was like, are we doing? And then our coach was like, oh, you guys are done. You guys are shut down for the rest of the game. I'm like, okay, good. That's it. And we're just and cheerleaders on the sideline.
Well, I was talking to Matt too. I'll ask him the same question if you don't mind. But Matt was cluing me in. I went to a couple of games in Canton this year. I was section 102, like very close to you guys. And, see you and Matt kind of huddle off down there at the end of the sideline. I was asking him what you guys usually talk about when you're down there, just kind of hanging out, kicker talk. I've never been part of those conversations. Matt gave me quite the lesson on the types of conversations that you guys have that are very football oriented in a good way. So I was going to see if your answer held weight with his answer. What do you guys talk about when it's just the two of you down there?
Just wondering how much hot dogs are at the stand. I'm a little hungry.
Where dinner is going to be at night, where we're going.
Yeah, no. I mean, it seems like it could take a lot of time, but it's very like quick and to the point. Just like we're just talking about how either like the wind's changing, how we imagine we're going to play it. So like if it's because it kind of swirls a little bit or it changes up sometimes. It's like in Canton, I mean, we lucked out a couple of games where like it was kind of either like at our back or it wasn't like that aggressive. But like some days in practice, this stuff was just whipping. But it's just that. What are we kind of thinking? Just kind of bouncing ideas off each other, or just Matt's like maybe like driving this one out, or like hanging up. I'm like, okay, well we're feeling this way today, so this is what I got to do for how I feel today. Just swing up through it. It's like I'm kind of mishitting it. It's like, all right, let's just slow it down. So just when Matt's up to punt, I'm just feeding him underhands, or just getting the ball, or just like fixing the net, doing everything I can, just being down there, just assisting and facilitating for him, for what he's about to do. Just same way as if he's getting snaps with Riley right before we go out for field goals, or like a couple times when we lose our balls, we only have like the one between us. So he catches the snap from Riley. He gets the spot. He gets like one or two. He throws it to me. I take one into the net. I send it right back to him. It was just a little well-oiled machine right there, just going back and forth doing that. But it's all that. He's like, you know what? Like, I'm feeling this way today. Might tell Matt to make like a quick little adjustment, or he's holding the ball great, getting the ball down spot, and I can see it as long as possible. So it's like, say like, hey, the good's good, or hey, I'm feeling this way today, so might need to adjust off of that. Short and sweet.
Well, this is unbelievably exciting having two. I mean, you guys are NFL caliber kickers. I mean, just tremendous kicking game for the Maulers all year long. But Chris, I'll put you on the spot with one question. If you had to pick any punter in the USFL and say we have to put a punter in on goal line defense, which punter would you pick in the USFL and put him down in a 4-point stance and put him on goal line defense? I know who I'd pick, but I'll defer to you.
I mean, shoot, just the biggest weight room guy you've got in the league, Matt Mengel, right here.
Absolutely.
He played every position in college. You look at that. Like you don't think he's a punter, you think he's a D end already. So
Yeah,
exactly.
My goal is to come back bigger and buffer than Reuben Foster in the next 6 months. So that's my goal.
I love it.
Chris, you doing the same?
I don't think I'm going to be as bigger as both as Reuben. I got like probably 50 pounds to go, but I don't know if I'd pick that. It'd probably just be a lot of bad weight at that point.
It works. We were just doing Drop the Hammer, which is kind of non-football. And Matt just answered who would play him in his own movie if we're making a movie about the Matt Mengel story. Who would play Matt Mengel?
Oh,
Chris.
Shoot. Somebody with a lot of tattoos. Danny Trejo.
Okay.
Do the little CGI reversal technique.
Matt said,
who did you pick?
I said Jackie Chan, bro.
I was closer than you, so.
Yeah, I feel you.
You said you
also. Who's the guy from Eastbound and Down? The lead character from that guy.
Kenny Powers?
Yeah. I feel like he'd be a good Matt Mengel.
Danny McBride?
Yeah. So he talked about you converted him into a country music fan as well. Did he convert you? Did he convert you with your musical taste at all?
I mean, it's not like I was against it or anything. It's like I just never really popped it on. It's like either for like a workout, it's really just either like EDM or something a little upbeat. And then if I'm just like driving around, it's kind of like chilling out country music. But yeah, no, we would always like in the morning, like we're trying to wake up. Yeah, we'll throw some Matt's metal music on, or we go into the weight room. If he's got the speaker, he's got the aux. It's like okay, let's crank the tunes a little bit. Yeah, actually, you know what? I have caught myself going back to some of the songs, anyways. So,
attaboy.
So they are in the rotation. They're in the rotation.
That's awesome, Matt. You think of a question for him or not yet?
Give me 1 more minute.
Alex, you got anything for your?
Yeah, I'll hit him with one. I'll hit him with one. He's going to know what a yinzer is. He's going to know what a yins is. How about the 2 inclines in Pittsburgh? What mountain do they take you to the top of?
Mount Washington.
What are the name of the 2 inclines?
The Duquesne. Shoot. Man, is it just the Fort Pitt? Is it just Pitt?
That's good. The Monongahela and the Duquesne, as you would say. But yeah, so
Duquesne, yeah.
I mean, that's 3 hours at Penn State right there, Chris. Good job. You just hit two questions. You got 3 hours toward a Nittany Lion postdoctorate right there. No offense, Webb. Tell him where you went to school, Webb. Tell him where you went to school for a couple of years. Let him know.
I started my undergrad at Penn State.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear.
It is what it is. Whatever. Whatever.
I love it. Love it.
Thank you for coming on, Chris.
Oh, shoot. Anytime. Appreciate it.
I got my question.
All right. Here we go.
if there's one thing you miss about Ohio since we've been home, what is it? Non-football related.
Non-football related, us just going to Texas Roadhouse and then coming back playing video games together like it's college.
Video games, yeah. That was good times, bro. 6 more months, we'll be right back. So,
best job ever.
Best job I ever had.
Well, do you think you'll be in Canton or do you think you'll be in Pittsburgh?
My opinion, I think they're going to change one of the teams that are in Canton to Ohio team. And this is my opinion. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. I think they'll move us to Pittsburgh or just outside of Pittsburgh somewhere, and they will move. They'll keep I think they'll keep New Jersey there, and they'll probably change who they are. That's just my opinion, but we could very well be back for season 2 there. Yeah. I know they're already selling like season tickets there or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I think that's what's going to happen, but I'm 100% could be wrong.
So if the team moves to Pittsburgh, Chris, you've kicked in what's it now called a censure? Yeah. Right? I always call it Hines.
Acrisure.
And Tom Benson. Which one was better? Which one do you like kicking in better?
I mean, you always love the hometown crowd. And when I played there, Heinz Field, that was fun. I mean, either way, I mean, I know the end of the season, the field gets torn up. So there's more playing with the field as much as playing with the wind there. So normally, at least with the turf, you don't run into as many field condition issues as you do with, Acrisure Stadium when you got the Steelers and Pitt playing on it. And yeah, the high school championships. I don't know if they do that anymore on that field, but I don't know. A lot of memories on that in Pittsburgh. There's 4 years there. I mean, I'd probably go back and say Acrisure Stadium.
Yeah, fair enough. Thank you for coming on, man. And I love the meme account. I know it's not you, but the meme account's great. When you first signed,
everything.
When you first signed, I started tagging it, to try to get you on the show. And this guy's like, "Yeah, I'll come on." Like I thought it really was you at the beginning, and then thankfully, I never brought him on, and it turned out not to be you.
That would have been funny.
Yeah, we could have found out who it was. You should do that now.
That's true. I'll try to get to the bottom of it.
That'd be perfect.
How long has that account been out there? Do you know?
I don't know. Didn't we go back and it was like it's already been up for a couple of years.
Oh wow!
I think it's since you left Pitt, and it was with you throughout the whole NFL, and then now. So it's been following you for a while.
So it's definitely not Riley, right?
That's
definitely not Riley.
Can't be Riley.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Chris, for coming on.
Of course, anytime to shoot me.
You want to ask Matt any questions? He got to ask you a question. It is his.
What's your bench at now? I'm not with you working out. What's it up to?
Max? You want my max? Probably around 290, almost 3, probably, I would say. I rep out 225 probably about 15, 20 times, and then multiple sets. So I'd assume it's probably close to 300.
Yeah, same about 350 for me, but you'll get there.
I love it.
Maybe one day.
That's awesome. Alex, you got any last questions for Chris?
No, just to say thank you. And all kidding aside, really appreciate everything you did for the Maulers this year. And I think, Webb and I talked about it on the very first show I was on. I encourage you to go back and watch. What a difference you made when you joined this team. And, the ability, I think the first game with us, you go out to Michigan, you hit 5 field goals, offense is still struggling a bit. We got to lift, Matt's doing great situational punting, setting the defense up well. We're playing good complementary football and finding ways to win games until our offense could kind of pick it up. But you were a pleasure to watch all year, and like the number of big kicks you hit, impressive. And like I said, I'm sitting downstairs in the basement watching, and my heart's about to pump out of my chest. And you're getting ready to trot onto the field with the season on your back, and it's like, man, this is clutch. And I mean, like nothing to it. So enjoyed watching you play all year. Thanks for coming on the show too. And yeah, you were in my top 10 USFL top 50. I put
he should be, man. He came in and killed it. I mean, it was amazing to watch. Just having that first person point of view where I'm catching, holding, and just watching every kick that he kicks. Just best kicker I've ever worked with.
The weapon.
Closest kicker I've ever been with. Just love him. You're a good dude, bro.
Appreciate it, bud. All right. Appreciate it, man. Got people walking around now.
All right,
Matt.
Chris.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right. I'll see you guys.
See you, buddy.
See you, bro.
Thanks.
Bye.
Never know what you're going to get on Hammer Time, Webb. Look at that. Who are we going to call next, Matt?
Who do you want me to call? You want me to call Coach?
Let me tell you what. Webb had told me you're a pleasure to have on the show, and I enjoyed watching you kick the ball all year long too. I mean, incredible. And you touched on it earlier. I used to coach small college football, so I watched for like small things within games. And you're so right about like sacrificing your stats. Sometimes you want to kick away from a guy. It's like, just kick the damn thing through the end zone, put it on the 20, let the defense decide the game. We're not going to give this guy a chance to beat us. And it's just that whole, very professional way that you do what's right for the team. And if you sacrifice your stats, but football fans, coaches, people in the NFL, they recognize those things, right? You're above, putting your stats first, and really appreciate all your efforts. You were fun, hell of a player to watch this year. Really enjoyed it.
I really value just being on a team where it feels like a family and finding a home. I value that kind of more than anything else. I'm kind of at the point in my career where NFL could very well happen tomorrow, and it might not ever happen. So I just kind of approach this team as it's my NFL. It's my dream. I got people like you that care about me and who I am as a man and what I can provide to this team. I have coaches that feel exactly the same way, and I love being a Pittsburgh Mauler. I love every part of it, from playing to knowing the coaches to knowing my teammates. So I really appreciate all the support. And I had so many people that were Steeler fans travel out to our games and just express so much love and support. And people send me stuff in the mail for me to sign and send back, and just hug me, or just want pictures with me, the punter. There's so much blessings in all of this. Really, I'm very grateful to be a part of the Maulers. Yep. And I really appreciate you expressing how you feel and what I did. And it just means a lot, man.
Yep.
Means a lot. Thank you.
Very true. You bet.
And it was an honor to meet you a couple times this year.
Hell yeah, man.
It was worth the 13-hour drive.
Hey, I don't think you understand how much, like, people who are in my position, like, we played at top D1 schools and stuff, but while we pursue our dream, just people like you guys expressing how much you value us and as players, and just bring us on a podcast. And you guys do a really good job of making us feel great about what we do. So, like, kudos back to you, man. We appreciate you so much, you and all the work you guys do in highlighting us. And as players, I know Boogie probably feels the same way. Everybody that you ever interview or coaches, we all feel the same. Like, we really appreciate you and you, Alex, just for what you do for our team. And thank you.
That's awesome, man. Well, I thank you so much, man. You guys are really my favorite sports team in the entire world right now.
That's so cool.
Cool. Like, I never thought I'm kind of was a free agent like you. So last year I was actually covering the Breakers, and they weren't so welcoming to me. Like, they just weren't. That's no hard feelings towards them or anything, but they were, just bigger than I was. And then we needed someone to cover the Maulers. So I was like, you know what, I'll do it. The 1-9 team. They were still orange and purple, which that's a whole nother thing. The black and gold's better. But since day one, which has been about a year now, you guys have been great, and you guys have become my favorite team. So I appreciate it.
It's like I said, like the day you were there with a couple dudes, and you were at our practice, and I was like, dude, just follow me. I walked you into our locker room, and I let you see everything under the stadium, the field. Like, if you love us, then we are more than happy to bring you in and just show our appreciation for you, and just, man, I'm just thankful for you, man. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna have to do this again, man.
Absolutely.
We with the Chris Blewett thing, we didn't even get to touch your college career, and Alex is a big Canadian Football League fan, so we're gonna have to catch up again.
Yeah, we'll talk about
we could do part 2 anytime you want. If you want, I could probably get Riley on here too, or even talk to Coach Hull or anybody you want. Just tell me, I'll give them a call and see if I can get them on here too.
Oh, Coach Hull will DM me now. Like, he watches every episode, and when Alex made his debut and we were just talking Maulers football, he was like, Alex watches football. Like, he understands the game of football.
Yeah.
Or like, I'll interview someone. He'd be like, that was a good interview. Or actually, if you watch some of our other shows, we've added graphics because what Coach Hull suggested. So Coach Hull is one of my biggest supporters, honestly.
I love him. Me and him are actually going to go to UCLA versus SDSU at San Diego State here in probably a week or two. I think it's September 9th. I love the guy a lot. I really get along with him very well and appreciate him. So everything you say is not a surprise to me. That dude's a good dude.
Yeah. All right, Alex, you got anything else for Matt?
Great to meet you.
Yes, sir.
Seriously, thanks for your time on us, tonight, and it was wonderful. Thanks for calling, Chris.
Yes, sir. Anytime.
Yeah, that was cool. So it was good to talk to him too. We got the twofer, and like I said, in my opinion, the 2 best kickers in the league. So
I thank you so much. It means a lot.
You bet.
Really does.
You bet.
All right, this has been Hammer Time with Matt Mengel, episode 45.
God bless, guys.